Welcome back to the Spring Mini-Series, episode 11. What if, in the middle of an endless desert, you could build your own oasis? Today we are heading to Morocco, where warm sands, rich colors, and flowing shapes come together into something completely different. In this speed build, that empty desert transforms into a hidden resort filled with shaded courtyards, soft details, and place that feels almost unreal. And the best part, you can build this using just base game, businesses and hobbies, and Life&Death. If you own Life&Death, you won't even need a Courtyard Oasis kit. April to May is the perfect time to experience Morocco, and that's exactly the feeling we are creating today. So, if you are looking for something calm, warm, and a little bit magical this spring, this might be your next inspiration. With that said, let's hop into the build! I don't know if you could tell, but I used the Landgrab's house for this. Originally I wanted to build it from scratch, but then I looked at it when I wanted to demolish it and I said to myself, this is exactly the layout I wanted to use anyway. Yes, I had to adjust a bunch, it's not visible here, it took me 3 hours to adjust the whole house, and it took me in total 12 hours to finish this build, so it was really a huge project. And I'm telling you, if you would expect that it would take you shorter time when you will have already the shellware, you might be wrong. At least it was like this for me, because I had to adjust the rooms. I wanted to make it smaller from the back because I wanted to have way more room for the garden, which I wanted to have. At the end, anyway, it's not big enough. Unfortunately, in Oasis Spring World, there is no lot which is 64 by 64, so I could use 50 by 50 as the maximum one. Yes, you could use the other lots from the other worlds, but this was fitting so good with all this desert around. The only thing which I'm sad about is that there is no sea, like further behind. I know we would not be able to use it, but still, just for the feeling of it, to at least see it from the hotel would be way better than just the desert which is all around. Progressing with the build, I want you to focus on the items used. Majority of them is from the Life&Death. I never realized how much this pack was inspired by the architecture from this area. Especially look at the spandrels. When you put the columns there, they are creating this beautiful arch which is so typical for all these Moroccan style resorts, not only Moroccan, African style resorts. I've been in Tunisia, I've been in Egypt, I've been in South Africa, and they all had these arches which are so beautiful and which you can achieve by having just this pack. You don't need a Courtyard Oasis kit to have exactly the same effect. What frustrated me though was that we don't really have the windows, which are a little pointy at the top, which I could use. And you cannot really use the spandrels, because then the game will think that you're outside, and then the light will be poor, and then in case, I know we are in Oasis Spring, but in case it will rain, then it will get inside, the sim would want to run inside. So I didn't want to have the spandrels around, I wanted to have the windows. So I was improvising, using the doors from the base game as an arch on the top. I think it turned out pretty nicely. I know there are the windows from my wedding stories, for example, which have exactly this shape, but I didn't want to use another pack for this build. You know me, I'm trying to limit all the packs when I'm building. The majority of you guys can really download this, so I didn't want to use an extra pack just to use the windows. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this improvised arched windows which I created? Do you like it, or do you have other ideas how I could have done it? And we could not call it a Moroccan resort if it would not have a courtyard in the middle as really traditional Moroccan riad. I know there is a rooftop window upstairs, so it's not really outside, but we're in the Sims, so I didn't want that it will be really outside. And from this main lobby area, you can go into the restaurant area, which I created. I used the tables which came as a reward from the reward event, which you will just stack with the food and you don't really have to cook. For the resort type builds, I think is way better than having a real kitchen. If you don't have these tables, I think you can still download them off the gallery. And if not, I created outside a restaurant area with a food stall, so your sim will not die hungry. And as I was progressing with this dining area, I was thinking firstly maybe I should make a room for the kitchen where I'm building now. But then again, I didn't want to have a kitchen there. I wanted just to have this buffet table, so I created it into the kids area. I seen this in the luxurious resorts that they have this area, and it's such a good thing because then the kids are there, they're not screaming at the table. If you don't have adults only hotel, I think you would appreciate an area like this. I've also created a couple of toilets around, yes, as in the good resort should be, but I didn't place there much that your Sims will not be annoying about it. And of course, as every resort has, I created also a gym area so your Sim can be also active there. I also created an area just for the bikes, because in the resorts, isn't it nice when you can just take a bike and just bike around and see the country? I love doing this, so I made also this. You will see it later on as we will progress. But now we are in the first room, in the bedroom, which I created using just the packs which I mentioned. I created these curtains around it. I know with the wedding stories there are already curtains made, but this is a nice way how you can use actually just the base game to make the same effect, and I think it turned out beautifully. I've placed into the room everything which I think is supposed to be in the hotel-like rooms. So there is a bed, there is a TV, there is a seating area around. Of course, there is a huge closet. This is supposed to be a fancy room. And there will be also a huge bathroom later. Now I'm creating an elevator. I know in The Sims we don't have elevators, so what for? But it just looked nice, and there are people who are lazy to walk the stairs, so I was thinking this is actually fitting really nicely. And now we are getting outside, which was the part I was looking forward the most to do. I wanted to have definitely a bridge which will look a little different, so and the way how you can achieve it, just take one from the debug, create a second floor, use just the floor and then adjust it in a way that it will fit also and align with the bridge you created. Put the stairs there and your Sim can totally use this, and you will have a bridge which is looking differently, which has this arch under it, which is just much nicer than the normal bridge which you can create in The Sims. And I created also the kids swimming pool, which is fully functional. I will make a short out of it how you can do it if you haven't seen it so far. If you will just download this, then just do it and your Sim can play there, the small kids as well. Now I'm also swapping the original bridge because this wooden one was so much better, was fitting so much better to the overall architecture. I was so much enjoying myself doing all this. And the final game changer for this garden area was when I decided to change the tiles into the wooden flooring. It gave the space so much more modern look, and it gave the space, I don't know, somehow more warm effect to it. I liked it way better than the tiles which were there originally. And then I created these food stalls around and the tables around, so your Sim can also eat outside in case they will be hungry, in case they will just be spending time at the pool. I don't know how it is for you, but for me, when I'm on vacation, everything tastes better. And I love this feeling when you're outside, it's warm, you can smell the sea from afar, and there is all this amazing food all around, someone cooking for you. I wanted to achieve the feeling like this also here. And I wanted to have the layout a little different, a little more interesting, so I made it a little more curly, you can say, by adding these rounded quarter rooms, or how to call them. And I also placed then this wooden tiles around. In my head, it's like a wooden floor which is somehow guiding you how you can walk in the area. And I wanted to have there way more greenery, so now I'm creating another part which will be just green, full of plants. This was my only regret, that the garden was not bigger. I could imagine having way more space in the back to have way more greenery there, because you see it in this resort. They have such beautiful gardens, they're huge, there's like a desert everywhere, but these gardens are blooming, they're all green, they're full of life, they're full of water. And it was such a shame that I could not make it here. I've also used plenty of items from the debug menu, like hidden treasures as I like to call them, as for example the sign which I put in front of the restaurant outside, or these bike racks which are here. Two of them are functional, so if you will come there with the Sim it will work, or these statues which I placed next to the bar. Aren't they gorgeous? And I don't understand why all this stuff is in the game, but you cannot see it in the standard menu, which is such a shame. I'm sure you all will use it if you would know it's there. And now I'm putting way more lounges around the area for your Sim to just lay there. I know it's totally next to the pool, but I will change it on the last minute. I don't know if it will be shown in the video, but definitely you will see it correctly during the tours. I've also created the sunbeds a little separated from the lounges, which in this hotel you always see, which you can buy and spend money on that, which is so unfair to the customers. But yes, here we are, the capitalism in its finest. And then I created also this area which is in my head for the yoga activities. I know I didn't use the spa day there, but for my personal gameplay, I definitely will swap this for the yoga area, and I left it there also that in case you have the spa day and you would want to also replace it, you will know exactly where to do it or what I intended to have in this area. I've also placed there darts, if you have seen, so in my head those are for these activities, for these vacation activities you can do when you are visiting the resorts. If you have other DLCs, you can place there another activities. It's totally up to you. Again, I just place it there for you to understand what I intended to have there. And now I'm also creating this area for the coffee. I totally liked how I used the dividers. It made it as if it's one shaped thing, which was way better than just pergola standing there, at least in my opinion. I've also placed there the string lights, which in the evening they're making it so romantic. You will see it now, bam, super nice. And with that, more or less we are done with the exterior and we are going back to an interior, starting with the bathroom of the first room. And if you're asking yourself what was I just putting there, it's a shower someone made and placed it on the gallery. It's like a small shower under which you will click on and your sim can totally use it. Since I limited myself with the packs which don't have this standalone shower, I had to improvise, and I really didn't want to have their base game shower or any shower which has a construction around it. So this was a nice compromise, and you can totally find it. You can make it yourself, of course, if you have a tool mode, but why? If there is on the gallery plenty of them. I will also link it down below so you can find it anytime you want. And as a decoration I used these African paintings which came with a recent update. And then I moved back to the bathroom because I realized businesses and hobbies have these beautiful counters which seem like they're from the stone, and to that they have these super matching sinks which were fitting way better, I think, than the original ones. Now I'm creating also the walk-in closet. We had this once on our vacation and it was so much more easier to have a normal closet. I know it's such a small little detail, but it really was. And now I'm making a second room. In my mind, if you will use this as a really hotel, you can make a sim living in this second room or in the first room, whichever you would prefer better, and he can run the whole hotel and you can really just visit it as a consumer, so you will have a vacation-like feeling without even owning Adventure Awaits, which is typically made for this type of builds. But you can of course use it as a normal room if you will have more sims to travel with. It's totally up to you. This was just an idea from my side. But with that said, we are slowly heading towards the tours. This was so much fun building, even though it took me really long. I hope it was fun for you to watch. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the notification every time I post. I hope you got an inspiration where to maybe travel next during this springtime. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!